Have you ever felt like your voice died in childhood? It begins not with a scream, but with the absence of one. A 5-year-old opens their mouth to speak, and nothing comes out. Not because they can't, but because they've learned they shouldn't. Children should be seen, not heard. Stop asking so many questions. You're too loud. That's not important right now. Every time they tried to speak, the world taught them to shrink. Every question dismissed. Every feeling minimized. Every word met with irritation or indifference. This is the child who stopped asking why. Not because they weren't curious, but because they learned curiosity was unwelcome. So the child learned the safest language of all. Silence. But here's the truth no one tells you. Silence isn't peace. It's survival. The smile becomes a mask. I'm fine becomes a mantra. The child learns to nod instead of speak, to agree instead of argue, to disappear instead of demand. They become the perfect child, the easy one, the one who never causes problems. But beneath that smile, their authentic voice is suffocating. Do you recognize this child? The one who answered, "What do you want for dinner?" "I don't know." "How was your day?" "Fine." "Are you okay?" "Yes." The child who forgot they were allowed to have preferences, who learned that having needs was dangerous, who discovered that silence keeps everyone comfortable, except them. The child becomes the family's emotional thermostat. They learn to read every micro-expression, every shift in tone, every dangerous pause in conversation. Their job isn't to be a child, it's to keep everyone happy, to smooth over conflicts they didn't create, to carry secrets too heavy for small shoulders. Don't upset your father. Be good for mommy. You're so mature for your age. Mature. What they mean is silent. What they mean is convenient. What they mean is invisible. The child grows up, but the silence follows. At 25, they still can't ask for what they need. At 35, they still say, "Sorry for existing." At 45, they're still waiting for permission to speak. In meetings, they have brilliant ideas but never voice them. In relationships, they agree to things that hurt them. At restaurants, they eat food they don't want because it's fine. The voice they buried in childhood is still buried, and every day of silence feels like another day of death. The cost compounds. Relationships where you're loved for who you pretend to be, not who you are. Jobs where you're overlooked because you never speak up. Friendships built on what you give, never what you receive. The anxiety of having an opinion, the guilt of having needs, the terror of being seen as difficult or demanding. You become a ghost in your own life, present but not really there, breathing but not really alive. And deep down, that child is still screaming, still desperate to be heard, still believing their voice doesn't matter. Healing begins with a whisper, not to the world, but to yourself. My voice matters, even if you don't believe it yet. It starts with small rebellions, ordering what you actually want, saying no without a paragraph of excuses, having an opinion, and not apologizing for it. The child inside starts to stir, tentatively at first. What if I spoke up? What if I said how I really feel? What if my needs matter too? It feels dangerous because it was dangerous, but you're not that powerless child anymore. Your voice isn't too much. It never was. Your needs aren't selfish. Your opinions aren't worthless. Your silence wasn't keeping the peace. It was keeping you prisoner. The child who learned to be quiet can learn to speak. The adult who disappears can learn to show up. The voice that was silenced can learn to sing again. You don't need permission to exist fully. You never did. Your voice matters. It always mattered, even when the world told you it didn't. The butterfly was always there, waiting for you to open the cage. What you've just witnessed isn't just a story. It's the psychology of voice suppression, known as learned voicelessness. When children are consistently silenced, dismissed, or punished for self-expression, their nervous system adapts by shutting down authentic communication as a survival mechanism. The brain literally rewires to prioritize others' comfort over genuine self-expression. Remember, silence isn't peace. It's survival, and you survived brilliantly. But the child who learned that their voice was dangerous can learn that it's now safe to speak, that their thoughts matter, that their authentic self deserves to exist in the world. Your voice matters. It always did, even when they told you it didn't. The silence served you once, but now it's time to set that voice free.